To start off the new year that was 2023, I disregarded all the lessons that MacLeod had ever taught me. I came up with a Growl video which would follow a very similar structure to the Nightmare Team called Dollar Store Elden Ring. It would have me leading Joe around again on a journey, only this time there'd be considerably more actors in on it, and we'd all be playing as characters from Elden Ring. Some roles were bigger than others, so some people would be playing split roles. But Gideon, Margaret, Roger, Godric and his dragon, Godfrey and his beast regent Serosh, Malekith, Melina, Marika, and the Elden Beast would all be encountered by Joe on his quest to stand before the Elden Ring. If I finished this video, then I would have made a second one, which would have been simpler but still fun, called Dollar Store Elden Ring Side Quests, or Genocide Route, where Joe would encounter and fight a few other characters, including Vare, Melania, and Morg. But you don't need to know about that was only happening if the first one went viral. For the video to work the way I wanted, I calculated that there would have to be 5 actors other than myself, because at one point there'd be 6 of us on screen, plus Joe. And for it to be entertaining, at least 3 of us would have to be on VC with Joe. I assumed that it would only take one shoot to do everything. Actually, I didn't even consider the prospect of having multiple filming sessions at all, because it would be done in one place and it wouldn't be that long, really. In order for 6 of us to know what the heck we were doing, I would do a bit of a rehearsal without Joe, or a rundown where I walk through everything that would happen from start to finish. And if it was funny enough, I could even put the rundown on YouTube. I'm gonna read out this whole shit. This is what... What?
What?
What'd you say?
I don't know. Go.
But there was nothing funny about this Growl video. And I needed people for it. People who could commit to it. But I only had Zach and Joe. And I guess maybe Manny Growl, Iron Man, and Infinite Pixels, so long as we found an opening. It's crazy how easy it sounds for me to have made this video happen with these guys and just one other actor. But my rationale was to find as many Growlians as I possibly could and add them to my Discord server, hoping I'd find a bunch of us online at once instead of being practical about it. I was on some kind of tangential, digressive conquest, and it involved me joining a military guild called Aldara Imperium, because I knew there would be a Discord server and people in it who might be cool with being in my video. I attended a bunch of classic Growl classic military tradings and events, many of which were at 1 AM. I spent money on a uniform for no good reason, and I left the Northside Mafia, a guild which was almost as valuable to me as MacLeod, just so I could join a one-off random tag for a training. I met a few cool dudes in the guild, including another Sans, and Seviad Valeria, someone from the legendary Cezanne? I don't know how it's pronounced. God damn, I've known it for so long. But someone from the Cezanne guild, and Seviad was the sparring sensei of my own sensei, Mitsura. That's pretty cool, but otherwise it was a bit hard to make friends, cause I was kind of sick of Growl militaries at this point, and this one wasn't as fun or refined as Imperia, which I was a part of 2 years earlier, but there was some action I got invested in, like Growl admins affiliated with Serovia, our enemies, banning the leaders of our empire. I joined a serious meeting one morning where a few big faces discussed the best moves to take down Serovia, no matter what. I was never a fan of those guys, even before I knew who they were. I'm getting sidetracked again. It was all but focused on getting some of my video at this point. You know, I met this girl, Riff, who I wanted to be a Nightmare Team originally, in place of the less nightmarish Skylar. And I asked if she wanted to be in this next video, and she said, okay. Which is like her catchphrase. So I asked, do you mean okay like, okay I'll be in it, or okay your question has been acknowledged? She was like, okay. So I was like, I was going insane. Riff soon left the military for a towering guild, and to troll her I joined a rival towering guild called the Growl Dragon Empire, a guild from 2012 where I met the legendary Dragon Emperor Shady, who wasn't actually a dragon, and another cool dude. They weren't really active in Discord, but they were like, sure thing, we'll join your server. On the 12th of January, I announced to the Nightmare Team Discord server, which by then had like 20 people, that I'd be putting my video on hold. I started doing my whole rundown thing with just Zach, and I rehearsed the entire script. And it dawned in on me that it was kind of cringe. The script had lots of archaic terminology, just like the dialogue in Elden Ring, but I also kind of played on several of the actual lines of dialogue familiar to us from the game. Like Joe would encounter Godric with Margaret, and Godric would say, well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord, and a lowly omen, playing as a king. Then Margaret would rebut, little tarnished, put this gaffer's foolish ambitions to rest, and then put your foolish ambitions to rest. After everything, I still think if the video was properly executed, then it would have been fine. But generally, for these types of videos, unscripted stuff is more entertaining. What the hell are you doing? How did you just come ahead? Fuck you doing? I came back to Dollar Store Elden Ring not very long after, but I decided to just make the video that was meant to be like a spin-off. I was still very irrational and had days when I'd get on Discord saying, I'm making this growl video no matter what, before saying, sorry, maybe next time, Joe, then going off to bed. I reached out to Mavis, a friend from Imperia, my first military, who I knew was a good sparrer who could play as Melania for the video, and she said, sure, I'll be in it. I wasn't fretting over how much she had to look like Melania like I had of the characters in the first video. I didn't get it to buy a custom head like me and Zach both did for Margaret and Godric. But again, there was a small window of availability for her and Joe, and another week and a half or something passed until I finally had her ready in my guild house. And she said, let's do it quick because I'm going to do some towering and then I'm going to hop off to do some important stuff. I was like, okay. Joe was getting online, and 5 minutes later, he was still getting online. He had a problem with the Wi-Fi service. So I said, see ya, Mavis. Another 10 minutes later, while Mavis was still online, I went ahead and just made the video of Joe, playing as Melania on my sister's account. We did do 2 shoots for it after all, and yeah, recording the whole thing was kind of abysmal. There was one point where Joe was saying cut, 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 but I kind of ignored him. The local motorbike gang were also going at it again. In the end, Joe was like, come on, we should do more, and I wanted to as well, so I was about to start coming up with a whole other scene, but in the meantime I invited this growl tuber and really kawaii kitty to my guild house, and the 3 of us started messing around a bit, and I decided to incorporate that whole thing into the video. And I did a small bit of editing to make the ending a bit funny, and that was it. Done! I said we could make the one I originally wanted to do if that one popped off and became a viral growl video. But again, getting all the actors together and making this video would be my burden alone. I couldn't rely on anyone else to help me out of the sorry state I was in, while taking a whole month to make a 5-minute long video. In all that time, I actually started to miss my other growl videos, which I worked on largely by myself, usually at times of being unproductive otherwise. I guess you could see why I'm speaking about it. Anyway, that's it. I'm all caught up with a heap of stuff I want to talk about. So I guess this is it for my 7-minute Blood Survival games series. I'll make one more.